How's it going, guys? DragonStar Production here, back with another video. And in this edition of Dragon Ball What Ifs, we are going to be discussing a what if that we haven't covered in a little while. That being, what if Goten survived the androids? And of course, we were talking about future Gotens, and we made the adjustments in part 1 of how future Goten would be around in this timeline. And there will also be a link down in the description of the video of part 1. But before I jump into this video, I just want to remind you guys to join the Discord. This is where you can vote on what ifs, make video suggestions, and possibly even debate me and other people. And we even do exclusive Discord what ifs that you will never see anywhere else but Discord. But let's jump straight into the video. In the last part 1, we see Goten fight Android 17 and 18 alongside Gohan. However, even as a Super Saiyan in Gohan's death, Android 17 and 18 proved to be too much for the young Saiyan. Goten would then head back to Capsule Corp to help bring the heart virus to Goku, thinking it would help in the long run to stop the androids. Goten finally awoke from his bed, resting inside Capsule Corp. Goten goes to get up out of the bed when he sees Bulma. "Wow, I'm surprised you're alive after that," states Bulma. Goten nods and agrees with Bulma. "I thought I was a goner. These androids are ruthless, so careless, I'm sick of it. I want to stop them once and for all," replied a very frustrated Goten. After this though, Goten would remain close to Capsule Corp. He would just train every day for 3 years while Bulma built the time machine. Sometimes he would even partake in one of the old gravity rooms that was inside the Capsule Corp that still worked, but didn't do much. Goten would be determined to get stronger just in case going back in time though doesn't work. Goten being around Bulma though is also helping him mature some more, helps him become a little smarter instead of just acting purely on instinct and being a little bit more like Goku. Because Goten thought many of times of just going straight out and fighting the androids right away, but he wasn't even on Gohan's level just yet. But he wasn't far under him either. Finally, Bulma would finish the time machine. This would then lead Bulma to explain the time machine and how it functions. Goten though isn't goofing off, he's being very serious. He's listening to every single detail about the time machine and how it works and how it's going to take off. And when it's time, he's able to do it perfectly. So, Goten would travel back, but as soon as he does, he ends up finding himself staring at Mecha Frieza and King Cold. Frieza steps up towards Goten. "Now get the hell out of my way, I'm looking for Goku." Goten though, because of all the stories from Gohan and Bulma, who Frieza is, so Goten replies, "Me too." At this very moment, Goten would rush in at both of them with his arms out, knocking them way back with a clothesline. Goten then started punching and kicking the two until letting off a huge scream into the Super Saiyan. Goten and Super Saiyan would then use a Kamehameha to wipe out Mecha Frieza and King Cold with ease. After Goten destroys Frieza and his father, he then has his first encounter with Goku. And like Trunks, he was able to hold his tongue and doesn't state who he is. He's just coming from the future. Goku though is more impressed with Goten's power and wishes to spar. This makes Goten smile. It was going to be the first fight that he's ever had with his father. Goku though, who just came from planet Yardrat, could go Super Saiyan very easily too. So the fight is kind of lopsided. Goku is very stronger than Goten. Goten is mocked and made a fool of. But all this does is make Goten more sure that giving him the heart virus would work to save the androids. Goten decided to stop the fight. "Goku, take this!" As Goten throws a little pod filled with liquid. Goku was confused on what it was, but Goten points out that it's a heart virus that he develops in the future. Of course though, Goku isn't sure about taking it, so he just puts it in his pocket. However, Immediately after, Goten would tell Goku all about the androids and how they attacked his future timeline. And at this time, Piccolo and the gang was coming over and they were overhearing this. Goten goes into detail though on how ruthless and how aggressive they were in his timeline. However, this only excites Goku for the fight that was going to come. But this kind of confused Goten a little bit because he's only seen people more scared of the androids, more horrified of what they've seen. So seeing his father in such a happy mood to fight such evil opponents kind of caught him off guard, but at the same time, he understood by the stories that he heard. By this time though, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and even Bulma all have found their way to Goku and Goten. When they do, Vegeta is instantly pissed to see that there's another Super Saiyan besides Kakarot. Goten then flies down and walks over to Gohan. Goten then falls straight to his knees. Goten then goes to explain that Gohan was his mentor, his best friend, and that he thought he seen the last of him when he was only just a kid. However, Goten goes back for the reason that he came, to warn everybody of the android threat, and that they should start training very, very soon, and that they were in great danger when the androids do arrive in 3 years. So then the next 3 years kind of take place as normal, just with Goten taking the place of Trunks. Goku would be fighting Android 19 and fall to the heart virus, having Vegeta step in to save him. Like canon, a Big Bang attack blows his head off. When this happens though, Goten arrives back to the present, and unlike Trunks, doesn't really hold his cool, and when he does, he notices that the different androids, so Goten would then blurt out, "These aren't the same androids!" And this would create the opening for Gero to escape, and he was gone. Nobody could track his energy. Vegeta angrily turns back at Gohan and just growls, but everyone just flies off to try to find Gero. However, Gero was caught paying the same fate as he does in the canon story, and loses his life to his own creations. When this happens, they also release Android 16. Then, the Z Fighters end up running into the androids. And when they do, Vegeta insists on fighting. He turns Super Saiyan and charges at 18, but she's able to block the attack. Goten though isn't just about to let Vegeta get his ass handed, so he charges in. When Goten is about to strike though, he is kicked across in the jaw by 17. However, instead of Krillin just standing by, he flies over and hits a solar flare, and this actually manages to blind 17. Goten would then rush over to Vegeta, whose arm isn't quite broken yet, and helps with the fight. This is able to help damage 18 much more, but quickly, 17 is able to see again, and when he does, he sends a Begone right towards Krillin. The blast is heading right towards him. Krillin doesn't have enough time to react and move out of the way, but thanks to Goten, diving in front of Krillin was saved. But Goten was injured pretty badly. Without Goten's help though, 18 finished Vegeta off pretty quickly by kicking him in the arm, shattering it. The androids then look over at Krillin. 18 goes over and kisses him on the cheek, and then they leave to go find Goku. The androids are able to run into Piccolo, who is already fused with Kami after hearing the threats of the androids. Then we get to see one of the best fights in Dragon Ball, in my opinion, between Piccolo and 17. Piccolo, like normal, would be able to hold par with 17, but Cell would eventually hatch out. When he does, he is able to absorb 17 and become semi-perfect Cell, and everything happens as normal all the way up to this point to the hyperbolic time chamber. But because Gohan and Goku would still go in the same, but because Vegeta had nobody to go in with, he pulled in Goten. This would be a full year of Goten having to put up with Vegeta, who doesn't really like him. This though actually helps Goten and comes in his favor. As soon as he walks into the chamber though, Vegeta powers up into Super Saiyan and shoots Goten right in the back. Goten screams and falls to the ground, but Vegeta tells him to get up. The fight has only just begun. Goten picks himself up and smiles, and then Goten charges into Super Saiyan himself, and the two battle it out. During this time, Vegeta would still unlock Grade 2 Super Saiyan, or what he called Super Vegeta. However, in this timeline, Goten doesn't care about surpassing Vegeta, so tells him of what he's found beyond Grade 2. Vegeta would laugh it off and start walking towards a building. This, though, is when Goten would shoot a blast right in the back of Vegeta, repaying the favor to him. Vegeta turns his head back and hears Goten say, "The fighting has just begun." Goten rushes in at Vegeta. Goten punches are getting heavier and heavier, much more than Vegeta's. His arms grew bigger and bigger, and again, Goten started bulking up. Vegeta actually started taking an ass whooping from Goten, more because Vegeta was surprised by the power and wasn't focused on the speed or agility that he had over him. And like Vegeta does after being embarrassed after any fight, promises that he is going to push much, much further. So this would actually mean for Vegeta and Goten being much stronger than Vegeta and Trunks were in the normal timeline, both actually being able to reach the Super Saiyan Grade 3 instead of Grade 2. Cell, though, is going berserk trying to find the 18 back on Earth. He gets right above the island that 18 and 16 are hiding in. But before Vegeta and Goten had came out of the time chamber and found Cell. Vegeta then rushes over and punches him right across the face. Tien, Yamcha, and 18 and 16 watch on the sideline as the two fly up. Vegeta and Cell would be battling out, but Vegeta would be then smacking around semi-perfect Cell just like normal. Cell would try to pull the trick on Vegeta, stating that he isn't at full power, and that he should let him get in there. This works as normal, but Vegeta agrees to help Cell. Goten rushes in as a Super Saiyan Grade 2 and punches Cell right in the gut. Goten then follows up with another gut punch, and then he uses his knee to drive even deeper in his gut, hitting him 4 times trying to knock out 17, and this manages to work. However, Goten never changed focus. He then finished off Cell with a Kamehameha, obliterating every part of Cell's nucleus. So, Cell was defeated, just like that, and Goten was the hero. At least, against Cell. Thinking it was all over though, Goten retreats back down to base, but Vegeta is pissed, and then Goten took his opponent and charges at him. Goten doesn't have anything to adjust to, Vegeta is just manhandling Goten. Vegeta knocks Goten out, having him crash to the ground as Vegeta flies off. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I already have part 3 written out, so I hope this video gets a whole bunch of likes and a whole bunch of views. The more that it gets, the more soon that part 3 will come out. The same with the other what ifs. The more likes and the more views, the more soon part 2s will come out. And guys, I really want to thank you for pushing me over and letting me get 300 subscribers. I can't believe that we've already got that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And another reminder, guys, join the Discord. You get exclusive what ifs. You can talk to me regularly on a daily basis if you want to. Alright guys, it's been fun. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.